Welcome to the deep dive. We have something really unique today. Our listener sent us this amazing collection of their own personal notes along with parts of Jonathan Safran Foer's book, Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close.
Yeah, it's a really cool mix. Like you've got these really thoughtful reflections on, well, loss, and then these sort of quirky observations, even some pretty intense emotions, all kind of jumbled up together.
It's a fascinating combination.
Right.
Absolutely.
For those who haven't read it, Extremely Loud, Incredibly Close tells the story of this really bright, like super imaginative young boy, Oskar Schell.
Right.
And he's dealing with the aftermath of losing his dad in 9/11.
Yeah.
And the excerpts you share, I mean, they really capture his very unique perspective on the world.
Yeah.
You know, how he interacts with people, just his really vivid inner world.
Exactly. And it's not just the stuff from the book, is it? I mean, your own notes, as we've been looking through them, they seem to really resonate with some of the big ideas in the book.
Absolutely.
Dealing with grief, memory, trying to connect with people, that really human need to find meaning, especially when things just feel, well, senseless.
A big one.
So, listener, what we're going to do today is really dive deep into your unique collection here.
Sounds good.
We're going to try and pull out the most interesting and insightful parts, save you the time of going through it all yourself,
Yeah.
and hopefully give you some new ways of looking at what you've gathered.
Exactly. Fresh perspectives.
Okay, so why don't we start by looking at what makes Oscar so unique?
Sure. I think a good place to start is Oscar's talent for invention
Oh, yeah, his inventions.
and his really original way of approaching, well, everyday situations.
They're so clever, and sometimes they're really poignant.
Yeah, they are.
Like, take his idea for skyscrapers for dead people.
Oh, yeah.
Build, downwards,
The underground.
underground.
Yeah.
And on one level, it's a very practical idea. Like, what happens if a plane hits a building? You just lower the whole thing down.
Kind of brilliant, actually. Yeah.
But then he takes it further, right?
It does.
It becomes this whole dead world underneath the living one. It's brilliant. It's also kind of bizarre. Like, he's trying to find a place for this huge concept of death in the everyday world.
Absolutely. It illustrates Oscar's need to bring order to something that's just chaotic. Death. Which, I mean, that's often how kids deal with loss. They try to make it tangible, solvable.
Right. And then there are his ideas for these insanely long driverless limousines.
Oh, right.
A limo that goes from the place you're born to your burial site.
Wow.
Or one with the front seats at the cemetery.
It's crazy.
It's darkly funny.
It is.
But it also makes you think about an entire life, from beginning to end.
The whole span.
And then his conversation with Gerald about it.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it.
Gerald points out that if everyone lived like that, in endless limos, no one would ever meet anyone.
Right.
And Oscar's answer is just so.
Just like that.
It really shows how focused he is on his own inner world.
And his very particular concerns, for sure.
Okay. And then it gets even more interesting.
Okay, I'm ready.
So there's this device that knew everyone you knew.
This one's wild.
Hooked up to ambulances. It flashes messages like reassurance or, tragically farewell based on how close you are and your love ratings.
Yeah, the love ratings.
It's this mix of technology and this deep human need for connection and comfort when things go wrong.
Really, when things go really wrong.
I mean, imagine the idea of like how much you love someone or they love you actually impacting an emergency message.
I know, right?
It's incredibly moving, but also a little strange.
I mean, come on, love ratings. That's a pretty bold concept.
It is, isn't it, listener? It's like he's trying to put a number on something that can't be measured. And then there's the colored water idea.
Oh, right.
Reflecting a person's feelings. Orange for happy, gray for confused.
I like that one.
Imagine seeing how someone feels just by looking at their hands.
That would change things.
It could lead to so much self-awareness and hopefully a lot more empathy. What did you think about that, listener? I'm curious what your notes say.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a direct visual way of understanding emotion. And emotion is so hard to grasp,
It really is.
And then on top of these more complicated inventions, he's got these wonderfully playful ideas, too, like windmills on skyscrapers and kite string bracelets.
They're so whimsical.
Totally.
Yeah.
It really shows his boundless creativity. Like his mind is always going.
It never stops. Okay, let's switch gears a little and talk about how Oscar uses language.
Yeah, good idea. The
Mm.
kid's got a one-of-a-kind perspective.
He really does.
Like his playful use of language, he thinks she-tuck is okay to say.
Right.
And his made-up curse word is succotash my Balzac, dipshituck.
It's amazing. It's like this innocent view of things mixed with this awareness of, well, literature.
Yeah, like he's read Balzac. Come on.
Right. And the way he interprets things literally and then connects them in his imagination. He looks at his map, sees the dots as constellations,
Okay.
connects them to make words like fragile or door. He even gets cyborg or platypus if you squint your eyes like a Chinese person.
Oh, wow.
It's this beautiful way of trying to find patterns and meaning in randomness.
Yeah. It's like he's making his own language for understanding.
And the interesting thing is how that idea develops. He's excited at first about these hidden words, then he gets disillusioned when he realizes he can make the dots say anything.
Right. Which means it's not really getting him closer to, well, any real answers.
It's a really insightful point about the limits of finding meaning in random connections.
It is.
And his communication style, so earnest, so direct. I mean, writing to Stephen Hawking and asking to be his protege. It's bold, it's innocent. And it really shows his endless curiosity and his belief in connecting with people, no matter how, well, unlikely.
I love that. You know, listener, did that directness strike you in any way? What do your notes say?
Yeah, I'm curious.
It really shows his lack of self-consciousness in going after what he wants to know.
So true. So how do these unique ways of thinking and talking shape how he interacts with other people?
That's a good question.
Let's look at his encounters and relationships. His limo ride with Gerald is just odd.
Yeah, I was going to say.
He kicks a French chicken in the stomach, tries to explain his long limo ideas. It's these random thoughts and attempts to connect that don't quite work. It's almost like he's speaking a different language entirely.
It really is.
Yeah.
But you get a glimpse into how his mind works.
You do, and then you have his relationship with his grandmother.
Oh, right.
It's so central to the book. The shared silences, the little window notes, like, don't go away. And then creating those nothing places in their apartment, this idea of zones where they can, like, temporarily cease to exist.
Yeah, that's powerful.
It's such a physical expression of their grief and their need for comfort. For you, listener, what do your notes say about coping mechanisms? Does this idea of creating a temporary, emotional sanctuary resonate with you?
Those nothing places are so interesting.
Aren't they?
These areas where they pretend don't exist. And because those spaces don't exist, neither do they when they're in them. It's an attempt to get away from the overwhelming reality of their loss.
But then you see how it starts to break down, how nothing bleeds into something. It shows how impossible it is to really escape grief.
Like it finds a way to seep into every corner of your life.
Okay, so connecting this to the bigger picture, Oscar's search for the owner of that key.
Right.
That becomes a huge part of how he interacts with people.
It does. He ends up meeting all these members of the Black family.
Abe, Abby, Albert, Alice.
Nancy, William.
It's this amazing mix of different people and stories. Each encounter adds another piece to his understanding of the world and how people are connected, even strangers. Like he's putting together a giant puzzle.
It's really cool. And what's fascinating is while he's looking for one specific person, he's also picking up these pieces of other people's lives, their joys and sorrows.
Right. And then there's his relationship with Mr. Black.
The grandfather.
Yeah. The way they communicate by writing, their shared experience of grief,
Such a unique bond.
and Mr. Black's idea about things being biographically significant,
Oh, yeah.
being connected to a major event, even a tragedy, makes you significant. Oscar struggles with that idea, especially because his father was, ordinary.
That's a tough word.
It really makes you think about what it means to be remembered. Listener, what did you make of that idea of biographical significance?
It's a heavy concept.
And then there's how Oscar interacts with his mom.
And her relationship with Ron.
Right. Oscar's direct questions, his difficulty understanding his mom's grief and how she's trying to move on.
It's rough.
It's such a raw and honest look at how differently people handle loss and how hard it is for a kid to deal with a parent's life changing after something so big.
It's a lot to take in.
So all of this, the inventions, the language, the encounters,
Yeah.
it all ties back to those big themes, right?
It does. The whole story is about grief, memory, and just this this constant searching.
Yeah.
Oscar's inventions are like this outward sign of his internal struggle with grief. He's trying to create order, find solutions in a world that suddenly feels chaotic and impossible to understand.
It makes sense.
It's his way of trying to fix something that can't be fixed.
And then, there's the importance of objects and memories. That letter from Ringo, him digging in Central Park looking for something. Everything seems to hold a clue, a piece of understanding.
Or a connection to his dad.
It's like the physical world becomes this landscape of memories.
Totally. And that idea of communication and how hard it is really important too.
Oh, absolutely.
You see it in Oscar's awkward conversations, in his grandfather not being able to speak, even in the unspoken things in his grandmother's nothing places.
It's everywhere.
It shows how we struggle to connect with each other and really understand each other, especially when we're dealing with, deep emotions.
It's so true. Listener, did any moments of communication breakdown particularly stand out to you?
Especially given your notes.
And running through all of this is this feeling of searching for connection in most unexpected places. Whether it's dots on a map or meeting a stranger, Oscar is constantly trying to create a story to find some meaning in all the chaos.
To make sense of it all.
And Foer weaves in these seemingly unrelated things, like that image of black rain in Hiroshima, the survivor looking for his daughter. It mirrors Oscar's own search in the middle of his grief. It reminds you that loss is universal, that we all have this desperate need to find the people we love.
And then that image of the empty coffin.
It's so powerful. It represents absence, loss. But it also becomes this focal point for grief. What did that image make you feel, listener?
Yeah, it's like a tangible void that makes you confront the intangible nature of loss. So let's shift gears a bit and look at some of the specific details you highlighted in your notes. These kind of quirky observations that add so much to the story.
Oh, I love those. Like Oscar's discovery that most house dust is human skin.
Oh, yeah, and that it weighs like 78.4 pounds in their apartment.
It's so specific and a little creepy, but you can't forget it.
No, you can't. It's like something a really curious mind would latch onto.
Absolutely. And his interest in elephants' memories. And that experiment with playing recordings of dead elephants to living ones.
Right.
Do they feel love, fear, sadness? It makes you think about how deeply animals feel.
That one's profound.
And all the locks in New York City. He
Oh.
figures out there are probably 18 locks for every person.
Wow.
Over 160 million total.
It's mind-boggling.
It's this feeling of all these hidden things and secrets all around us.
It paints this picture of a city filled with individual lives, all these private spaces.
And then there are the really powerful historical details, like that chess game in Hiroshima.
Oh, where only the white pieces on the white squares were left?
It's such a stark, symbolic image.
It really shows the total devastation, but also the randomness of who survives those kinds of events.
And then there are those random facts, like how coffee actually has more caffeine than espresso
I know, right?
because the contact time is longer.
Who knew?
Or that 10,000 birds die every year from flying into windows.
Which, of course, leads to Oscar's bird call invention.
These little details scattered throughout just make the story so much richer.
They do. They really add to the richness and complexity of the world you've been exploring in your notes. Like, you've got that story about the woman living in the abandoned mooring mast of the Empire State Building.
Like an urban legend, a secret life happening right inside a landmark.
Exactly.
And Mr. Black hammering a nail into his bed every day since his wife died.
It's such a powerful visual image of grief.
That repetition. It's like a ritual.
It's this small, private thing that says so much about love and loss.
And finally, that concept of the sixth borough.
This mythical part of the city tied to Central Park.
It's so imaginative. It's like a secret part of New York you can only find through imagination. It really connects to how Oscar sees the world. The lines between what's real and what's not are blurred.
I like that. So, listener, as we wrap up this deep dive into your amazing collection,
It has been amazing.
we see how Oscar's perspective, captured in the book and your notes, gives us this really powerful way to think about grief, connection, and searching for meaning when we face loss.
It makes you think, listener, what made you put these specific things together?
Yeah, what drew you to them?
Did you see any parallels between how Oscar sees the world and your own experiences?
Or maybe something about how the characters in the book deal with their grief really spoke to you.
This whole exploration really highlights how connected ideas and emotions are, right? How a character's story can help us understand our own thoughts and feelings.
And how random facts and observations can come together around these basic human experiences.
It encourages us to find meaning in the details.
It really does.
Thank you so much for sharing this incredible collection. It's been an amazing deep dive.
Fascinating.
Keep exploring these ideas, listener, and see what other connections you find.
You never know what you'll discover.
That's the deep dive for today. Until next time.